State of Affairs brought to you by
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Good evening, welcome to State of Affairs, coming to you live from our studios here in Accra and streaming live on Facebook. Find us on Facebook, the GH1 TV page. Tonight we are talking about students rising against university authorities. You saw what happened a couple of days at the KNUST in Kumasi, of course. Yesterday, the University of Ghana also gave a strong warning to hit the streets if their grievances are not addressed. There are indications that UCC will be following with grievances as well that have not been addressed. Are we experiencing a spring from the universities tonight? We talked to the SRC president of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Kelvin Sir. Good to have you in the studio. And also joining us is the SRC president of the University of Ghana, Sylvester Owusu Amoako. You're also welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much.
All right. So I want to start with you, Kelvin, because today, not a few hours ago, there was news that the governing council of KNUST had been dissolved. Now, this new interim board will determine the fate of the vice chancellor of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Before Kelvin comes in, let's take a look at some of the releases that have been springing up since 1 p.m. today. And we're going to start with the government's press statements coming up on your screen shortly. All right, so that was the statement from government saying that it had dissolved the KNUST Council and in its stead put in place a 7-member interim council. And it has also directed that the university reopens within 14 days to enable academic work to continue. I'm sure you have seen this already. It goes on to talk about deliberations and dialogue that had gone on between the school authorities, RECSEG, and the SRC. And so that was a release from government today. The 7-member committee is made up of some members of the old governing council, and some people are asking why are they still on that board. But of course, government will be the best to answer that question. That's the governing board there. The chairman is Nana Aba Anamoah, and the members are Professor Rita Akosia-Dixon, Professor Joshua Ejakwa, Dr. Edward Bafo-Boni, Madame Hilda Hagar, I hope I got that right, Mrs. Abna N. Entry as a member, and the SRC president Kelvin Sir as a member as well. Let's take a look at what the SRC itself put out earlier today concerning their meeting so far. And it says the way forward, that's how we headlined it, progress made by SRC and university management in negotiations so far. If you can just go up, I'll give you the pointers. I think there are 4, 5, 6 pointers. Kelvin, how many? 6 pointers? Okay, so the first one is to return to previous hall college week celebration schedules. All hall celebrations will be celebrated separately. Also, open engagement with students regularly. They're also calling for a reverse decision to consolidate or centralize all students' association accounts. That really does not make sense. Why the accounts were consolidated. Also, they want a complete lift of ban on morale. I hope I got that. That's what they call it, the JAMA sessions. Also, to accommodate unity and university hall executives, they should be given the respect due them and also recognized to function as constitutionally elected executives. Number 6, the university management must assure students that the happenings of students' brutality by security personnel will not happen again and ensure safety of students on campus. Let's go further up. Number 7, they're calling for reorientation of campus security personnel. Their limits should be well defined. Number 8, universities should provide medical care for affected, brutalized students. That in the light of moving forward, a reconciliation approach rather than punitive should be adopted. The end goal of the mediation program is to heal the divides involved. And so these were contained in the release from the SRC today, signed by its president, Kelvin Sir. Okay, so we continue with our discussion in the studio. So we should say that so far the students are satisfied. Are we right to say that?
I'd like to say that at this point we have come very far. Now we as the SRC led the students to register their displeasure at how their grievances over the years have not been heard. And so right after the incident on 22nd, that was this Monday, we have made steps. We met with government, the Minister of Education and his team, and they told us they'll get back to us. Now, since then, we've also been in talks and we've had meetings with the administration as well, the management, and we put out on the table our grievances, all our problems that the students were facing, for which led to this incident, and we've arrived at a consensus. So as it stands now, I think earlier this afternoon we released a press statement telling the whole country and all students that we have arrived at a resolution with university management, and so we are looking forward to the council also accepting that and then calling off the suspension of academic studies, so students can as soon as possible resume to academic life.
Okay, and you've met the Vice Chancellor of the university.
Yes,
you have. Did he register his displeasure with the way things turned out?
I think this issue sent a very strong signal. He was very concerned about the way forward and what we could do to ensure that there was a resolution and then our students will be calm. And I think the press release, since it came out, students have been very happy with it and are comfortable. And so that's why I stated that we also hope that the council will come to a resolution that the matter will be accepted as we have put it.
Now, these pointers in your press release,
yes,
I want to believe they were tabled to the management of the university. Yes, have they accepted in principle that all of these requests will be met?
Yes, the management have accepted in principle. Now, all these are the immediate cause of the incident that happened. There are also other remote causes of this incident that also has to do with the conversion, because we know that students were not so happy when that implementation came. Now, over the years, it has been on the university's table for more than 10 years now. It's only got implemented recently. Now, the question is, students were not happy with it, not because they don't want females, of course. There's a humanitarian society and we appreciate gender very much. But the issue had to do with the fact that over all these 10 years, the university knew that there was no space for females, and forecasting, having the vision that there will be need for females, why weren't plans put in place to provide extra accommodation, just like my brother from University of Ghana, where they've had a host of hostels being put on campus year in, year out to accommodate the increasing numbers with regard to females as well. So we'll be hoping that the council will also look at that. We'll push it as well as part of the remote courses, because we are faced with a situation now. There are matters that necessitated this incident, but then if there are other matters that are also still hanging, which were not exactly the root cause of this incident, if the university can solve it now, if the council can make management solve it now to prevent future recurrences, to bring us back here, then I think that should be the right way to go.
Okay, let me bring in Sylvester now. He's the SRC president for the University of Ghana. You are not also very happy with the management of the University of Ghana, or have those concerns been addressed now?
All right, let me start by saying good evening, first of all, to the good people of the University of Ghana. And to talk about issues on University of Ghana campus, we particularly had issues, particularly on shuttling basis, talking about a generator plant that had not worked for some time now. And what we have been doing over the past weeks was we've been in talks with management. There had been a lot of bureaucracies and all. There was a loud outcry. People wanted to go on the street. And so what the SRC did was we put those buses out there. The situation was alleviated and all. But moving on, it was
What was the issue with the buses?
The issue with the buses was we had very few buses, just 2 buses at diaspora, which had to convey over 7,000 students. And so what
every day?
Every day.
2 buses a day?
Just 2 buses every day. You get there and there are lots of people there stranded, and I mean, it looks like SRC is doing nothing. And so we got to management and we gave timelines that within a certain period of time, if they don't answer us, we're going to go on a demonstration. But I believe that yesterday, after speaking to Radio Universe, we had a high stakeholder meeting with management. We called on the Vice Chancellor from Radio Universe, and after 5 hours, we met the Vice Chancellor, we met Pro VC, Director of Finance, we met Director of PDMS, the Public Affairs. They were in all that stakeholder meeting, and we were able to reach some form of a consensus. We put down timelines to other grievances, and till further notice, any form of demonstration has been suspended. University of Ghana want to state categorically and clear that we support students' demonstration. and we believe that it has been a cause for students to be able to, register their displeasure on issues. What we particularly do not support is the extent that we go ahead to vandalize and then break down properties which otherwise the taxpayers' money has not paid for. But we stand to say that we sympathize with our brothers from KNUST and we are with them in this hard time.
Okay, right. So, Kelvin, I'm coming back to you. You and your colleagues had been talking about all of these issues you tabled, including the brutalities, for a while. Was there any point in time that anyone occupying a leadership position at KNUST had called you to talk about these brutalities until you decided to hit the streets?
Now,
even remotely?
I think the issue has been made very clear. Now, this issue from time to time keeps coming up. Students being arrested, being taken into the cells in KNUST.
You have a cell on campus?
There's a cell on campus for many years.
Why would they have a cell on campus?
I don't even know. For many years, there's a cell on campus. Students are being arrested whenever there's an issue.
Who arrests these students?
The security. The security on campus arrests students sometimes. Myself as a SRC president, I'm being called to go out there and bail. There are times where I have to go there at 11 p.m.
How do you bail a student from a cell that is it manned by the police?
It's manned by the security services.
And then you go and bail?
I have to go there and speak to them for the student to be released. And this is not, it's not a new policy. It's something that's been there for a lot of years. And various student leaders have been complaining about it to management. But management of the university for many years has ignored the cry of students, and this is the point where it's escalated. Students were being brutalized, were being beaten, and you saw some of the pictures yourself. Students were bleeding and all. That tells you how extreme the matter has come and has necessitated this action. That if students didn't come out in their numbers this way to register their displeasure, I'm sure someone could have even died out of this incident.
Okay.
That's not the way we wanted to go.
Do you feel that across the board, the grievances of students, the concerns of students are prioritized at all by authorities of the universities?
All right, so on that issue, I think that students across the various campuses have had issues with management. Students have cried, issues about insecurity, issues about hostels, issues whereby students, sometimes even take their budgets to various deans and we go like, we are going to cut it down by this because we feel this program is not important. And when the General Assembly of various SRCs have approved those things. So I think we are in an era where, SRC student bodies are generally fed up. Students are frustrated. Students feel our voices are not being heard. We go out there and it looks like, okay, so management wants to just override us and have their way. And I think that it's out of some of these frustrations that issues have gone beyond borders in KNUST. So I think moving forward, we need to pay particular attention to student leaders. And particularly whatever is happening in our institutions now is what will happen in Ghana in the next 20, 30 years. And the likes of His Excellency Nana Aba was in Legon Hall, former President John Dramani Mahama was in Commonwealth Hall, the likes of other leaders. They've been in the university and today they are leading the nation. And so I think that it should rather be a peaceful dialogue. Let's engage students. Let's try and shape in the views of students and get student leaders to be able to push the ideas through. But it looks like across the globe, across the various institutions, whatever students put out there, hey, no, we are against it, we won't give you a listening ear. And I think that is the cause of some of these things. But moving on, I think that we can take a cue from this. Probably the minister in charge of tertiary education can have some form of a dialogue every semester where SRC president can come and address certain issues. I believe that would be a platform, to even say address some form of rift that maybe lies between university management and SRCs. So I think that would be a step in the right direction to solve some of these issues. Students are frustrated, students are tired, and we need answers from management sometimes.
Okay, and so far you are happy with the responses you've received?
As it stands now, I would like to say that students are very much happy with the fact that management is willing to, for the first time in a very long time, listen to the grievances of students and be ready to go along with them. I must say that it always seemed as if it was a calculated effort, a deliberate effort to sabotage or to undermine the effect of student leaders on campus, because almost every year, a new policy that's unpopular with the student front is being introduced and falls down.
And it weakens the front of the SRC.
Weakens the front of the SRC.
Right.
And I think it has gotten to a point where we have to vent. We had to let them know that this can be happening for so many times, for so many years. It has definitely come to the point where we have to speak.
Okay.
Let our grievances be heard.
You want to come in?
All right. So I want to speak to this a bit. I believe that we should empower demonstration, and it should be something we should support. Classically, in 1999, we had the Mobra demonstration in the University of Ghana, where students were not going for lectures. They were demonstrating in the lecture halls, going to the halls, going to registry and all. But what I want to put on record here is, amidst all of this, not even a glass was broken. You see, we can always tell management we are not pleased about an issue. We can go out there and cry loudly, 34,000, 40,000 students. But when it gets to the point where we come out and then in our quest to get things done, we go out there and vandalize.
Well, I don't think
destroy.
That was part of the plan.
Exactly. No, I'm just trying to make a point that we go out there and vandalize. Then we seek to kind of like make our leaders look like, okay, so that was the intent. So it's very clear from the Executive Council of KNUST that it was not as though that they wanted to go and burn cars and all, but out of the frustration, out of the fact that KNUST students felt that, okay, our leaders are not listening to us. So we felt, okay, let us go to whatever extent we want to do and let's burn cars and all. The history of demonstrations has been clear. We've had in 2010 and 2015, there was an uproar on UG campus surrounding the conversion of Commonwealth Hall into a mixed hall. And I believe that we had alumni, and then even on students, there was an uprising and all. But properties were preserved and all, because some way, somehow, we've had a form of management that had listened to students one way or the other. So what we want to put forward out there is, it is not as though we cannot demonstrate. Let us still come out when we have problems. But hey, students, in wanting to get the right things done, let us stay within the remit of the law and not make our leaders sometimes look as though that's what we meant for. But like I said, we sympathize with KNUST. We are so much with them, and we shall stand with them as they stand in this crisis and get this thing solved.
Kelvin.
I would like to state that there are in several instances where students are complaining about their grievances and their issues and all. The media hears it, the government is aware, but no one steps in. So is it at the point where there's violence and there's damage?
A typical example is the brutalities.
It's the brutalities.
Yes.
Students have been beaten for several times. We as the SRC have pushed it out through management. The media has captured it. I'm sure the government heard, but no one got involved. We were fighting our own fight. It was not bringing any result. So is it at the point where violence must happen before the government will step in, before the media will come and join us in our fight? If that perception is not stopped, if that perception is not changed, what it means is that all across Ghana, all universities and all other institutions and students who are watching will have in their minds that if we keep fighting and no one comes to aid us, then we have to go this way before we head. So we'd like to also urge that we have a listening ear. The government, the NCT, probes into student affairs and find out what exactly the matters are, so it doesn't always get to this point.
Okay, you're watching State of Affairs on GH1 TV, brought to you by MTN everywhere you go. I'm talking to the SRC presidents of University of Ghana and the KNUST. We'll be right back. I noticed that a lot of you are sending in questions for the two gentlemen here. We'll be right back. Do stay with us.
Chabiana Maniaje, Chabi into Maniaje, Rof, Minum Mama Homeka, and now Homekan to my fine. I don't go for me, I don't go for me, I'm a corner Maniaje, Rof, yeah, I need to go on. Chabiana, fine, whenever you are, I don't go every day, I don't go for me.
And too many power when you do watching and says I pay for no. I will drinking spots beer.
And don't go bitters. A demufua.
In real life, there's no buffering. So why accept it from your internet connection? Get connected and experience ultra-fast internet to the home from MTN. MTN Home, powered by MTN Fiber Broadband from the Internet Masters.
MTN, everywhere you go.
From my head to my toe, yeah. The moment I step in the street, everybody from nowhere. Look sharp, yeah. See the swagger for sure. Look sharp. My look, can you see, say me, be so out of world.
Freckle Spray Starch makes ironing easier and faster. There's no clogging, and it protects your fabric from stains. Fresh smell, big can, and you go use them, sir. See the difference. Freckle Spray Starch. Look sharp.
K20, in the bar, or in the party. K20, in the funeral or any other gathering. The burning sensation, I touch them up there. K20 whiskey, we track a crowd who will do my K20 whiskey. What I thought to Batulu, K20 whiskey, hey, yeah, K20. A boy there for fufu. That's my papa, and I no. Opa makes it, Opa no mess anything they go, yeah. K20, in the bar, or in the party. K20, in the funeral or any other gathering.
K20 whiskey, the burning sensation at the Chamape. No more yansem, one ton more biarundi in Fidwa Wache, on your map painful.
Akoto loves his family. He works hard to take care of them. So Ifya, his young daughter, can become the doctor she's always dreamt of. And Akosia, his lovely wife, can open the nursery school she talks about all the time. He can see a happy, relaxed retirement in the years to come. But life can get in the way of our dreams. Unable to work, how do their dreams come to pass? Don't let life's tragedies get in the way of your family's dreams. Get a life insurance policy from Star Life today. Star Life, your solid partner for life.
State of Affairs on GH1 TV with me, Nana Aba Anamoah. And the show is brought to you by MTN, everywhere you go. Tonight, we are talking about students, their grievances, and the attention school authorities, tertiary institutions, to be fair, give to all of these concerns raised by students. Not long ago, KNUST students actually came out in their numbers to protest what they call brutalities against students, and they had complained unremittingly, nothing had been done about it. And I have to put on record again that the students protesting the other day was never about the conversion of the halls. Of course, it's at the root of it, but they were protesting the brutalities meted out to them by campus security and the inaction of the university authorities. And so for those of you out there who want to skew and spin the story. It's pretty unfair to the students of KNUST. Anyway, I'm talking to the presidents of the University of Ghana, SRC, and Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, SRC, Sylvester, Owusu, Amoako, and Kelvin, respectively. All right, so before we went on the break, we were talking generally about students and your concerns on campus. But do you feel that the students also do what is expected of them on campus? Because in all of this, the university authorities also raised certain issues they've had with your colleagues.
I would like to state emphatically that students' behavior cannot just be judged on the surface. It will be as a result of certain policies or certain things that have been in place in university. For instance, there was a time where we used to celebrate all our whole weeks together, and students had opportunity to use such avenues to start a business, to raise funds, especially in times where money is very hard to come by like this. And they use that opportunity to raise some money to cater for themselves and all. But then when a policy like this is taken away and all whole weeks, for instance, are made in 1 week, it puts such students in a very uncomfortable situation. This is where we get students going around and we hear of pilfering, theft cases and all that, which you can't necessarily blame the students for. If there were avenues that students could actually use to cater for themselves, then they would resort to such avenues. So if you have a case where policies are gradually being placed against students' will, then the students' activity, students' behavior will also not be according to how you are expecting it to be. Because Nana, if what you want is not being given to you, you definitely not act the way I also want you to be.
Of course, if you suppress people perpetually, they will rise and
you have to react.
Riot, and you cannot actually decide how people should rebel when you've suppressed them for too long. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, for those of you who don't understand this, you should read about the French Revolution. It's clearly there. How about you?
All right, so on that, I want to establish my displeasure in that regard. I mean, putting everything together in 1 week for a big university like KNUST, I think is a no-no. Like Kelvin rightly said, it's an opportunity for entrepreneurs, people who want to, I mean, use that as an opportunity to raise some form of funds for themselves. If you come to the University of Ghana, we don't have that in our system. I mean, Kwapon gets to celebrate its whole week and 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, you have Commonwealth Hall and all. And so it is separated, and people are able to use that as an opportunity to raise funds. But I mean, if you talk about student compliance, I think it's on the high. Students are registering within the scope where they have to, I mean, registering for research and all. It's just a few times that you hear that, I mean, someone tried cheating an example and all, which is normal.
Yeah.
I mean, there's this quote that if you be a men's and women,
absolutely.
So I think that on the general, students are within the law. But if we keep on having policies and things that seem to suggest that students will get frustrated and get to the street, that is where we have a problem. In UG, one of the things we put out there was students had been paying 100 cedis from, I think, 5 years ago till now. I mean, they pay 100, every fresher pays 100 cedis when they come in. And on main campus, Commonwealth Hall, Equafo Hall, and all, the generator plants that were bought about 4 years ago have never powered in any case of light.
So what do they use the 100 cedis for?
So the 100 cedis is supposed to cater for the prices of the generators and all. But the issue on main campus has been that we pay for these generators. Every year we have freshers come in, they pay another 100 cedi. And for the numerous lighthouse we've had, the plants have never gone on. And so they go like, then let's auction it, let's sell it. And these are genuine concerns that sometimes when we put these things to management, they need to give us answers. But I must say and commend my management on Monday. They've given us some response. They've given us indications that.
Would you say it's from what happened at KNUST?
No,
they saw what happened and say, hey, let's just meet them.
On 17th of October.
Right.
Before I put out a statement that I was going to go on a demonstration. I mean, of course, they can infer from what happened in KNUST that if UG goes out, they want to outdo the system. And so then let's get a listening ear and all. But it is the case that we have been following procedure to get. I mean, if you look at the track record too, we've had quite a number of demonstrations, but particularly about the University of Ghana, we believe in a form of demonstration where we don't necessarily go out there to vandalize and
I'm sure they also believe in not vandalizing.
Exactly.
Everyone doesn't want to vandalize, but of course, when people are too upset, you cannot dictate how they react, you know. And I'm sure these are things you've addressed. You've condemned.
I would like to say there's one thing that we have realized. Now, just after this incident, the posture of various managements, my management in KNUST and his management in University of Ghana is changing. Now, since this issue, our management, we've had meetings with them, and they decided that now, fine.
What was the posture like?
Now, the posture is such that now they are open, willing, listen to accept the grievances of students.
Okay,
and
so
make sure that
when you walked into the meeting, they were already
there. It was very
there.
open, and now the posture is such that whatever the issues of students are, they are recognizing it, they are not being in a fixed position, they are accepting the fact that, fine, it is what students need to be very calm on campus, will do that.
Okay.
Now we can see that from University of Ghana as well.
They are
the same
listening.
thing. So what it means is that this has sent a strong signal. We are seeing the positive response.
On that note, I think that let's not extend this argument to make it look like, I mean, the only way we can get our voices out there is, I mean, bending the car and all. 1994, 1999, 2010 and 2015. UG had been on fire on demonstrations and all. When they wanted to convert Commonwealth Hall into a mixed hall, alumni stepped in, there was an uproar and all. Talking about the incidents in 1999, where we demonstrated continuously for 3 weeks. I mean, it was, the school had to shut down and all. But it was the case that nothing was destroyed. So what we are saying is that, yes, we should have the voice to speak. Yes, we should have the voice to be able to get out there and negotiate. I must admit that in all my quest to have wanted to demonstrate, even right from 5th week of school till now, it had never been the case that I had called the entire university management at the round table to want to sit with them. But when I made that first shot, the vice chancellor himself was there, the director of PDMSG, director of finance, director of public affairs, they all came in and all. So the signal here is, we can always demonstrate. Let us be within the confines of the law. That is not to say that we are sidestepping what our brothers from KNUST have gone through. I am fully with them. I am fully with them with their grievances and all. But let us eschew vandalism in 21st century.
Absolutely, I totally agree.
I agree with what he says as well. But if as KNUST students or as students who are going through a lot of trouble, who are being brutalized and are complaining, nothing is being heard, as students whose whole weeks are being converted, as students who are having centralized accounts, all these problems are compounding. We decide to go on a strike, and at that moment, the police steps there and starts sending firing shots, running onto the students. What is the posture you are going to take?
That is what happened.
Whereas we were marching very peacefully, about to submit our petition to the Vice Chancellor, the police stands up with their warning shots, and students get agitated. What would you have them do at that point? No matter how you have peace in mind, if you are that angry and you have said enough is enough, and someone like this comes to agitate you, what would you have the students do? What would they do at that point? What more can they do? If someone is angered, you don't have to trigger that anger to escalate.
And that is what happened.
That's what happened.
Okay.
The fire is burning and you add petrol.
Okay. But of course you were not happy with the vandalization of the...
I would like to say that at this point, let us look at how the issue has been addressed. A lot of things happened. It was unfortunate.
Absolutely.
But the brutality stands, the issue stands, our grievances must be heard. And now they've been heard and we are happy and good to go.
I agree with you totally, especially for those who are prioritizing the property that were vandalized as against the human lives that were being threatened every single day.
On that issue, I think that we can never on any day prioritize the properties against the lives that were being threatened.
Happening.
We can never do that. I mean, we don't know who that person is going to be, the next president of the republic, the next UN Secretary General and all. But Nana Aba, all I seek to say is, let us not destroy the integrity of our demonstrations. Through the Public Order Act, a 5-day notice to the police and all. I believe that where we had a few bit of lapses was coordination between the police service that was supposed to even protect the student And the Executive Council is what now probably we stand to question, because it was effective communication. Then I believe that His Excellency Kelvin and his people have seen that, oh, okay, so they are here to even maintain calm and protect us even from university security. But when those things, there seem to be some form of questions there, then we think that there are issues. But the issue is simple. We cannot resort to crime to solve an issue of crime. We cannot do ill to solve an ill. What we are saying is that I support demonstration, and if my management
about them, I think henceforth they will start listening and start caring in their own interest. Okay, some more messages. I'll just take 2 more and then we can continue with our discussion. Okay, Felix is reacting to someone's question and he says, which one is Jericho Wall? What is Jericho Wall?
Now in KNUST,
what's that? Everyone is laughing. Is it something I shouldn't talk about?
In KNUST, there's actually a part of the school where students have a lot of hostels, because there are many hostels off campus. Majority of students are there, and they use that route, which is very short from their hostels to their lecture faculty area. But then the wall was constructed there, and it has made it very difficult for students
to use.
So hence, students have been requesting since that a gate at least be created there, so students can easily find a shorter way from lectures to home and from home to lectures, which will make it appropriate for them.
All right. Owusu says, Anaba, I'm so sad listening to the presidents of University of Ghana and KNUST SRC, because it looks like students are fed up. These young men dedicate their lives to serve students, and all the university authorities try to do is to make them look unpopular amongst the students. I think that what KNUST did will send a strong warning to all universities. We pay school fees, we don't come to school free of charge, and the earlier they listen to us, the better. They should thank God that KNUST kept it at a minimal. Next time they will not do that. So we should watch how we treat students. Okay, I'll take the very last one here. It's a message for you, Sly. So Kobe wants to find out from you what happened with the electricity on campus on Monday. Something happened?
Yeah, so on Monday the lights went off, and within the split of the moment, people started shouting, we want our plant, we want our plant, we want our plant. Students started, coming down, getting to Saba, and it would have been a march to VC's office. But the lights came back on, and then they all went back. Now, one of the things we put on table with management was, if we don't get the receipts, if we don't know how much has been paid, how much is left to be paid, or the fact that we are done paying latest by next week, we will take management on those issues. Hundreds cannot come and pay 100 CD every year into an account to pay for generators that on main campus has not come on before, and that's why it's working. But on main campus, they've never come on before. So what we are saying is, if we don't get answers to those things, if we don't get the financial statement, UG goes red. Okay,
right, let's take our very final break. We'll come back and take the closing remarks from the 2 gentlemen here. Kevin has a special word for his mates following events that unfolded on that campus recently. But good evening to you, Martha Nkrumah. Martha Nkrumah, the actress, she's enjoying the 2 of you, your submissions. All right, we'll be right back.
Madam, I want Prosecure Herbal Tea. What is this? I said I want Prosecure Herbal Tea, not capsule.
This also be for urinary problem. Okay, please don't go. I have some. Supplement to improve urine flow.
Do not let anyone deceive you. There's nothing like Prosecure capsule. It is Prosecure Herbal Tea. Just boil it and drink it. That's all.
Prostacure from Medimosis Prostate Center is a well-formulated food supplement acclaimed worldwide to improve urine flow. Now available at all pharmacies, filling station shops, and shopping centers nationwide. Contact the Tem, Accra, and Kumasi branches with the numbers on your screen. Visit our new ultra-modern diagnostic center at Twazako Valley opposite the Westgate.
Prostacure food supplement improves urine flow in men.
Should you rumor to me?
Roma insecticide spray and mosquito fell. And Tonton Master, a bayer Jumanama. She's so madahati. Roma insecticide spray at that Roma. Interfere, Entatia, make it her. No way. Shemikuno and Tonton Bako crown panel. And also a pussy. Roma insecticide spray and mosquito crab. I'm out there with a show. Roma,
Roma and Tonton Master.
Akoto loves his family. He works hard to take care of them. So Ifya, his young daughter, can become the doctor she's always dreamt of. And Akosia, his lovely wife, can open the nursery school she talks about all the time. He can see a happy, relaxed retirement in the years to come. But life can get in the way of our dreams. Unable to work, how do your dreams come to pass? Don't let life's tragedies get in the way of your family's dreams. Get a life insurance policy from Star Life today. Star Life, your solid partner for life.
And too many power when you do watching. And says I pay for no. A drinking spots be a
don't go bitters. A demufua.
Nivea Natural Fairness Body Lotion is making women glow with confidence. With a trusted, innovative formula containing unique berry extracts and UV protection to care for and restore the skin's natural, healthy glow. Reveal your beautiful glowing skin with Natural Fairness Body Lotion from Nivea.
K20, in the bar, or in the party. K20, in the funeral or any other gathering. The burning sensation at the Chemape. K20 whiskey, we track a crowd who will do my K20 whiskey. What I started to battle, where K20 whiskey, K20 whiskey, hey, yeah, K20. I'm going there for 4. That's my papa, and I no. Opa makes it, Opa no mess, anything they go, yeah. K20, in the bar, or in the party. K20, in the funeral or any other gathering.
K20 whiskey, the burning sensation at the Chemape. No one yansem, one ton more biarundi in Fidwa watche, on your map painful.
In this part of the world, we are up long before the sun. Playing our part to make our world, our connections, and relationships a lot more brighter. They say agrobeswa, ne frianopa. Start your day bright with MTN Kokroko. For only 1 Ghana cedi, you can enjoy 400 megabytes of data and 30 minutes of free MTN to MTN calls every day from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. everywhere you go. Dial *138# to buy the MTN Pro bundle now.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Welcome back to State of Affairs, brought to you by MTN, everywhere you go. We're into the final minutes of the show. I'm talking to the presidents of the SRC for University of Ghana and Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Sylvester, Owusu, Amoako, and Kelvin, respectively. Tonight, we are talking about students' grievances and the kind of attention they get from university authorities. It looks as if across the board, students in our tertiary institutions have had problems with the authorities as far as listening to them is concerned. And this is something that needs to stop immediately. And well, I have said, and I think I've said it openly, well and clear, that I stand with the KNUST students in all of this, and I'll continue to stand with them. I think it is unfair for students anywhere to be suppressed and disrespected. We continue with our discussion, but before we go, I'm sure you all saw pictures and videos of the young man who was brutalized at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology by security personnel on that campus. He just sent a message. He says, please, Nana Aba, I'm Sarkodie Christopher, and that's him there. Sarkodie Christopher says, please thank Kelvin Sir for me. He remembered me when I was beaten by the security men and admitted at the hospital. And Christopher Sarkodie, I am saying that, sorry. I'm apologizing to you on behalf of every human being who cares, who believes that no one should be treated like an animal. What the campus security did was animalistic and must be condemned. Before you go out and condemn the students for vandalizing property, you should condemn the security forces for what they did to this particular student and others. So, Christopher Sarkodie, our hearts go out to you and we wish you a speedy recovery. Anyway, so he says thank you.
I did my job.
You're such a politician. You're all politicians, aren't you?
Oh,
we are leading our students.
Student activists.
Yeah, student activists.
Managing
I see. With future plans. I'd like to see some of you become presidents of Ghana. You know, change things. You're smiling, you see? I'm expecting you to say, oh, no, we are not interested, but you see, you're smiling.
I think you're also a politician.
I'm a politician.
you look at, I mean, in the next 4 years, I'm sure we are seeing some primaries or something.
Will you vote for me?
Maybe. I mean, have good policies.
Anyway, let's continue. We're just about leaving. So, Kelvin, I'll give you the opportunity now to talk to your students. You can look into that camera and speak to your students.
First and foremost, I would like to thank every student of KNUST. I'd like to thank the media for making our voices come out this loud and being heard. I'd like to state that it has never been about an attack on individuals, but it's been an attack on issues of students. We've heard in a lot of places that the Vice Chancellor should be sacked, he should resign, the Dean of Students should move, the Head of Security should move, and a whole lot. At this point, I would like to state emphatically that as students, our main issue was with the grievances. It wasn't with targeted individuals. We believe very well that as we've met with the Vice Chancellor, as we've met with the Pro-Vice Chancellor, as we've met with the Registrar and various management of KNUST, and have agreed to hear us, which is always what we wanted, we have arrived at a consensus. At this point, we need to move on. I would like to call on the government and on the council to bring us back to school as soon as possible, because this is indeed a sad moment for us. Let us end this. Let me call off our strike, and at last, we will say that the students' voices will matter. Thank you very much, and have a good evening.
Thank you very much, Kelvin Sir. So, Sly, you have the last word.
Thank you very much. Once again, good evening to the good people of University of Ghana. On behalf of University of Ghana, we want to sympathize with our brothers from KNUST and say that the brutality on our brother was unfortunate and we condemn it with every fiber of our being as UGSRC. We stand by KNUST in these hard times, and we believe that if students are not pushed to such extreme times, then such frustrations will not be seen on campuses. But however, we want to state emphatically to all students groups on various campuses that let's empower our voices, let's get out there and be heard. There is nothing wrong with we coming out to demonstrate, but if we want to do those things, let us work within the confines of the law. Now, particularly to University of Ghana, shuttle issues have been resolved and the shuttles are back on campus. On issues of generator, management has pledged to fuel all plants on main campus for this academic year. We are committed to every course. The issue on hostel projects is going to be worked on within the shortest possible time. We will stay put, we will work hard for students, and we will make sure that we'll dialogue with management effectively to get things done. But if we don't get a fair hearing, then we will get on the streets and then do it within the confines of the law. Let me use this opportunity to call on government to have a forum for SRC presidents in every semester so that we could iron out some differences between SRCs and management if there is anything like that. Let's call on Knust to unite. Let's have a united front that speaks for the various universities. We need a front that will speak for us, and let's do away with the double-sided nukes that we have. Long live universities in Ghana. Long live the University of Ghana. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And just before we wrap up, you wanted to talk about violence.
Yes. Yeah. I would like to state that at this point, we have all seen how it's unfortunate that there's been a little vandalism. There's been vandalism in KNUST. I would like to urge all students groups, I would like to urge everyone and all Ghanaians that no matter the problems we have, no matter the challenges we face, let's always find means of solving problems in such a way that it brings peace and harmony for everyone in society. Enough is enough. I think we can all go and rest now. Thank you very much and have a good evening.
Okay, thank you very much, Kelvin Sir and Sylvester Owusu Amoako. I apologize profusely to all of you who've sent so many messages. There's a flood on my timeline. I'm sorry that I couldn't read out all of these messages. And also, just to remind you that we have news at 6 a.m. tomorrow with Anita Kufu. Tune in for GH Today and enjoy the rest of our programs. Duvet with Nancy and Giovanni is coming up shortly. Thanks so much for your time this evening. For every student out there, know that the more you talk, the more people listen. Don't ever feel cowed by anybody at all. You cannot be suppressed perpetually. You can be suppressed forever, but one day you will rise. Thank you so much for watching the show, brought to you by MTN, everywhere you go. Kelvin Sir is the SRC president for the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Sylvester Owusu Amoako is the SRC president of the University of Ghana. Have a good night.
State of Affairs, brought to you by
Everywhere You Go, MTN.